Could a lot of the issues today caused by toxic masculinity be solved just by empowering women? It's something we talked about in our latest episode of the Dan and Can podcast, where Candy brought to the table the subject of pick-me girls. Something my kids would say and tease Candy about when she say different things, like she always hung out with the boys when she was younger, and that, she was in competition with other women because their goal in life was to become a wife, a mother, and that was it. And in that, and in the episode, we talked about all the wrongs and difficulties that brings upon women, because it just puts all this influence on the male gaze and what that does and how you have to constantly look. And it screws up the men too, because from a male standpoint, then, we always have this high bar set up, and this is what we have to expect. We expect all these things to be submitted to us. There's no challenge in our life. And you walk around and wonder why there's so many men that are 40 years and older that are absolutely immature, like they're still teenagers or college aged. It's because they've never been challenged in their life and brought up to mature into something better and being willing to see equality in an egalitarian relationship. Instead, they always have to be catered to. They have to be taken care of, like their wife is not their partner but their mommy that has to constantly cater to them. And this competition that women have that constantly want to get the male just positive opinion from them at all times leads to behavior like you see from our leader of the country when he calls women pigs and refers to them and degrades them in press conferences when they ask him a challenging question. If there's not an exact, just perfect representation of toxic masculinity, we have a big orange one sitting there right in front of us. Because anytime he's challenged on something he did that's incorrect, his fragile masculine ego can't handle it. So then he goes to the something that's always worked in the past, because he knew from this culture that women were brought up in that their appearance was everything, because they had to have that in order to gain a man. So he uses that. And a strong woman just lets that flow off her back, like water off a duck's back, because she knows she doesn't need his approval or his opinion. And that's what Candy grew into and learned here fairly recently. She doesn't need a male approval. She just needs the approval of herself. And her developing into a strong, independent woman has made me a strong, independent, more mature man. And it destroyed toxic masculinity that could have developed in our relationship. But because we allow this to happen, and because we keep training it, and don't empower women, we get what we have today. A bunch of 40-year-old teenagers running around demanding they get their own way.